SEO Hacker is the number one SEO or search engine optimization agency in the Philippines. Founded in 2009, SEO Hacker has taken hundreds of Filipino companies at the top of search results. Shan C is founder and CEO at SEO Hacker. So welcome to Start Podcast. We're very happy and very honored to have you, Shan.
The honor and pleasure is mine, Johnny. Thank you for having me here.
Yeah, so SEO Hacker has actually been quite here in the Philippines for quite a long time. Medyo mas matanda sa mga ibang startups na na-interview natin dito sa podcast. But anyway, let's start with the first question, Shan. So ano nga ba ang SEO Hacker?
SEO Hacker started as a blog way back 2009 or 2010, if I'm not mistaken. And it's a blog that I used to journal everything I was learning about SEO. Nung time na yun, di pa uso ang digital marketing, di pa uso ang website. Marami pa, dito at least sa Philippines, marami pa nagbi-billboard, TV ads, radio, newspaper, magazine. So when I was learning about SEO, it's very new to me. And the reason why I stumbled upon it is because I have a blog called God in You. I'm a born-again Christian and I wrote about my faith. Hindi marami yung nagbabasa. So sabi ko, how do I increase my readers and subscribers? And so that's how I came upon SEO. And I tried to apply everything I was learning to the God in You blog and then journaled it in SEO Hacker. People started to read SEO Hacker. They started to share some of my strategies and apply it as well. And then I started getting inquiries and referrals. So during that time, one-man team lang ako, freelancer. And I did SEO for some companies. The most popular one during that time was Uratex, which is a foam and bed mattress and monoblock chair manufacturing and retailing company here. And then it rolled on from there. And then I started hiring people, getting an office, operating it, and learning about leadership. Kasi wala akong alam sa leadership and management during that time. So kaka-graduate ko lang ng college noon. I was 21 years old.
Yeah. But it's a very nice story. Actually, like started as kumbaga honing a skill, a very new skill in the digital world, in the internet world, SEO. It's true back then, actually 2009, 2010, I was actually at college that time. And then actually, medyo nag-try din ako mag-vlog pero hindi naman umusbong, hindi naman masyado, wala naman napala masyado. Actually, that time I think meron ng WordPress, pero parang paunti-unti pa lang yung kaalaman sa SEO. It's true, parang very jargon pa siya by that time. Now kasi parang medyo norm na siya for companies who want to have a website, like even just a landing page. Pa-optimize ng SEO. Para we're on the top of the search results. Kumbaga pa nag-search ng, for example, a customer search something like ERP or some whatever need.
Yeah.
Sila yung unang lalabas. But yeah, I know you can speak more to this. So let's start with that. Let's start with the basics. So what is SEO really, or search engine optimization? Can you just parang tell like all the aspects into it and how really is it important?
Sure. Actually, in layman's terms, it's quite literally the ability to manipulate search results. That's pretty much it. So we all know that there's, well, historically speaking, 10 results in the first page of Google. And today, if you're not on the first page, no one really cares. And you'd probably get no traffic because people learned that the first page of Google results are the most relevant, the most trustworthy, the most authoritative results that can be found. So hindi na sila pupunta sa second, third, fourth, etc. page ni Google. No? And how do you manipulate search results? You basically serve Google's purpose for its users. Ang users ni Google are mga taong kagaya natin na naghahanap ng information about the latest scores in sports, the latest trend in fashion, the latest gadget perhaps, specs, maybe price kung ready ka na bumili. So we look for information every day, and dahil ang bilis na ng internet, ng speed, bandwidth, data, even on mobile, even in the provincial areas, there are more and more people using the internet, using Google as well. And we realize it's often faster and less hassle to ask Google kaysa sa magtanong pa tayo sa friends and family. Minsan mas matagal sila sumagot, minsan hindi nila alam, minsan sabihin nila, ba't ang dami mong tanong? Di ba? Si Google, hindi ganun eh. So we just keep on using Google. And when you, as the webmaster, are able to serve people by giving them the best possible, most comprehensive and cohesive answer there is, and your website is able to serve it fast and securely, then Google will inevitably rank you higher.
Actually, it's like hacking the algorithm of Google or actually maybe of other search engines. I know. But basically, Google actually like the algorithm behind it actually ranks higher. I think ang core, correct me if I'm wrong, ang core, kumbaga ingredient dito is yung traffic. Basically, the more traffic you get, the higher your rank in the search results. Now, in order to increase the traffic, you also hack or you also improve the SEO of that web page. Is that right? Is that like how it happens, how it works?
That is the usual the more common connotation. But we have almost no findings in our own experiments and testings na if you have more traffic, the higher your ranking in search results. So the traffic is actually a non-factor. Ang mas malaking factor are links coming to other site,
Okay.
another website, no, pointing to your site. You have more of those authoritative websites, hindi yung mga fly-by-night sites or gambling sites, not those kinds of sites. Authoritative sites like publishers of news, for example, CNN, Rappler, Forbes,
I see.
kumakuha ka ng links from there. That's very helpful. Of course, your website has to be fast, well-structured, well-coded, secured. Your articles have to be well-published. On mobile, dapat madali basahin yung articles mo or yung content mo. The text cannot be too small. The layout cannot be too lopsided or broken. There are so many factors involved. The keywords have to be in the right places, and you cannot keep on repeating them. You have to be able to use synonyms. So it's more of, I wouldn't use the word hacking the algorithm. I would rather use the word pleasing Google's algorithms.
Yes. Kumbaga, earning more points in that algorithm. So
Yes.
to get a higher rank. Actually, yes, it's true na I think more than the traffic, the external links really matter. Kasi, yung like science behind the most original kasi of Google's search engine, si PageRank, is actually based from Markov chains na actually like how different links in the internet world are like connected. So that's how you get higher ranks. But anyway, let's go to like how really can a company or any business, this is the startup and most of the listeners are actually like startup founders or like aspiring startup founders. So like for a company or for a startup, how can they really benefit? How can they take advantage of optimizing their SEO? Like what's in it really for them? And can you like give a picture, like if they partner with SEO Hacker, how does the journey happen?
Sure. Actually, the truth is you can DIY SEO if you have the time to learn it.
And
That's
you read the
the
blog.
patience. Yeah, if you read the SEO Hacker blog or kahit the SEO Hacker, even if you read Moz blog, you read yung blogs nila, Search Engine Journal, you read SE Ranking, you read all of these things, you can learn SEO by yourself. If you have the time, the patience, the ability to learn quickly and apply what you learn, of course you can do SEO for your website. No doubt. Because look, that's how I did it for SEO Hacker. And the benefit of being able to do SEO is really quite simple. Everyone who's searching will be able to find you. If they trust you, then they will buy from you. And you will make more sales and grow your business. Actually, Johnny, SEO Hacker was built by that same principle. I'm not a popular guy. I am not also a good salesperson when I started. I really sucked. Sucked very badly kasi I'm an introvert. And 28 units bagsak ko sa Lasal. I really wasn't anything. I wasn't charismatic, nothing like that. But if you search SEO Philippines and all of those similar keywords, we are on the first page. And for the longest time, we are on the number one spot. So I get inquiries passively. And these inquiries, if I close the deal, turn into monthly recurring revenue, which I have used now to reinvest in the business and grow the business to what it is today. So it's a culmination of being smart about the money coming in, being able to close the deals, the leads that come into you, being able to pounce on these opportunities, the right ones, not all money is good money, but the right opportunities, you pounce on it, you work on it like crazy, you'll be able to grow your business. But SEO is really there to generate leads for you. Because
Yeah, yeah.
people who search for SEO, Johnny, they're not trying to waste time or entertain themselves. Di dahil wala silang magawa. They're really looking for SEO companies who can help them.
Yes. Actually, very fierce na ang competition now kasi also in the internet world. So, very important, I guess, ang pag-optimize nga or search, basically SEO. Let's have a quick example. For example, for Startup Podcast PH, do you also do this like for YouTube or for like other? I mean, can you also? I mean, do you also have like tips or techniques for like improving SEO for maybe sa YouTube nga? So, for example,
Yeah.
Startup Podcast PH. I'm just thinking about it. Like, how can we optimize probably like our rank maybe in the search results, something like that?
Sure. So if you search YouTube SEO Hacker, I have a published article about YouTube SEO, and it's been up
Oh,
for the longest
wow.
time.
I'll
So
take a
you
look at
can
that.
you can study it, DIY it. We also have an article about TikTok SEO
Oh,
for
wow.
those who are interested to do that. So there are a lot of guides out there, and it doesn't have to be SEO Hacker's guide. It could be anyone else's guide. But there are step by steps, both theoretical and applied, ways to do SEO on these platforms. But it's very different doing SEO on these
Mm,
platforms compared
mm,
to doing SEO on Google search. For example, sa YouTube, kailangan mataas yung audience retention mo. Pag nag-publish ka ng YouTube video, dapat mapanood nila at least 50% of the video, 60% of the video. If they're watching only 20% of it, sa simula lang, 10% lang, hindi talaga magra-rank yung YouTube video na yon. So now it's not just about the keywords and links. It's also about how engaging and how valuable your video content is. Kaya ibang-iba yung laro doon.
Okay, yeah, I'll take a note of that. So, keywords, I guess keywords sa title, keywords sa tags also, links maybe like if linilink nga nung websites, I think media like media appearances, links from popular media sites ano really help also. And yung retention. So it's yung retention, I guess it's also like parang the traffic, I mean, or basically the number of people that get engaged or really watch yung video.
Yeah.
Anyway, speaking about these changes in like SEO along the years, because SEO started back in 2009 or 2010. So how, in your opinion or in your perspective, parang how did the landscape of SEO change from like from 10 years ago to now? I'm guessing medyo mas, first of all, advancements in tech. Second of all, I think mas marami ng tao, mas marami ng companies ang into the internet world. So can you just kumbaga share some perspectives of how the kumbaga the landscape of SEO changed along the years?
Sure. So, way back 2010, pag mag-refresh si Google ng rankings, once a month, madalang. Unlike now, the rankings it could refresh as fast as 5 minutes. Iba na yung results, no? Before, wala ring historical browsing na cookie-based search results. Unlike now, kung naka-login ka, depending on your cookies, iba na yung pinapakita ni Google sa'yo. Wala ring location-based search before. Kung nasa Philippines ka, same results yung nakikita mo sa US. Now, there's geolocation involved. So there's been a lot of changes. Moz has a well-documented log of all the algorithm changes that has happened in Google's engines. And if you check that, you'll realize there's a lot of changes that happen. And it's transitioning again. We have a major transition now with the advent of AI and Lambda, large language learning models. So all of these things, pag nasa tech ka talaga, you gotta study, you gotta adapt, you gotta apply, and you gotta pivot your business and operations and sales to be able to serve the market as best as you can.
That's the question for SEO hacker. So parang nag-iba ba yung how you do the kumbaga the quote unquote the hacking or kumbaga the optimizing for your partner companies, your optimization for your partner companies ng on how to put them on the top of the ranks. Because nag-iba yung, first of all, nag-iba nga yung algorithm. Second of all, nagkaroon ng ibang competitions like with ChatGPT right now, I don't know kung paano siya ginagamit exactly ng ibang companies, pero it really changed. So may iba ba then internally somehow?
Sure. We have changed a lot, actually. So when I first started, you could imagine I was a freelancer doing everything. And then I hired freelancers also when I was growing the company. And then I hired my full-time employees. So how I changed during my startup years is I had to quit several roles. So before I was the writer and editor and link builder and developer and designer and brand manager and sales and account manager and legal and
Startup
janitor. Diba?
startup
So
life.
is startup life. That's I had to quit those roles slowly. So I had to be wise in what I can hire for na madali ko lang matuturo at makukoach yung mga tao ko. Yun yung mga inuna kong i-hire, yun yung mga unang roles na dinelegate off ko na. I quit those roles. And then I was also smart by hiring the best legal team and accounting team because I am really not the best guy in those areas. In fact, ang dami kong bagsak sa college. So I'm not the smartest guy in the room. And then as we now transition to the age of AI, we have created new products in SEO Hacker that we are able to successfully sell to our current clientele, and we are pitching to some new and upcoming clients that we have. So we really adapt talaga. And I think if you're a tech company, you really have to adapt. You got no choice. Market is moving fast. The age of AI will make it move even faster. Kasi yung mga nagko-code ngayon, may AI help na sila.
Yeah.
If not the AI altogether yung nagpo-program, may AI assist sila at least. So mas mabilis pa yung pag-change ng mundo natin from here on out.
Yeah. Can we know some of these companies that you're working right now? I mean, just a picture maybe of like industry, what type of companies, what size, para then if sa mga nakikinig, baka they're interested to partner with you to ask help from SEO Hacker, like in order to improve their SEO. So, can you just know like maybe some portfolio or some of these companies that you're working with?
Yeah. So we have smaller companies like Food Trade to Go. Yun, maliit lang yun. Startup sila. And they started the pandemic and we helped them. We have Unbelievable, which is a plant selling and insurance company. And I started helping them. Pandemic company din sila. So meron kaming mga SME. But then we also have Shangri-La na ang isang condo nila, 200 million. Maliit lang yun. So different range of businesses. We have Mega World, we have Aboitiz, we have Hanabishi. Marami kaming kilalang brands that kami yung nag-handle ng website at ng SEO nila. So, we work with all sorts of companies. Now, meron din naman na, Sean, wala akong budget, but I really want to learn it. Then I have my NAS Academy course. I think that's just $97. You get the entire course. So, and it's shot very well. Ang galing ng production team ng NAS Academy. So, you can get that online or you can message me if you want access to it. And buy the course through me, no problem. I can send you the link. So there's really different several ways to do it. And we work with wide ranges of companies. As long as they have the budget and they're serious about ranking high online and making a lot of money from there.
Yes, I guess it's a really wide range of companies that can really work or you can really kumbaga, partner with SEO Hacker. But just to get a clearer picture for them, so how can they connect with you? How can they contact you? How kumbaga, after listening to this, what will they do? And parang how does the partnership happen? So basically, like the business model of SEO Hacker is it like kumbaga they pay you and you manage really like the SEO of that company? Is that how it works?
Yeah, so we have my clients, usually we do a yearly contract and then they pay monthly. And we handle everything from the website hosting. Sometimes we buy the domain names then pag talagang wala pa sila. And then we build the site, we design it. Sometimes we also do the branding, the logo. May company nga that I did the company name. Ako na ako gumawa ng bagong pangalan nila, no? So very broad in service, all the way to SEO, all the way to conversion rate optimization, all the way to social media marketing. We're a full-fledged digital marketing company kasi we're just really more known for SEO kasi nasa pangalan and yung clients namin na malalaki, nasa footer nila yung pangalan ko tsaka pangalan ng company ko, SEO Hacker.
Gets amazing. It's very amazing actually how all of this works. Actually, come to think of it, it's like a digital marketing company with really good or with really kumbaga high expertise on SEO. You mentioned about the team earlier, like hiring other people. So how large is the team right now?
I think right now, if I'm not mistaken, kasi hindi na ako yung operations eh. I have a
Hmm.
COO running the operations now. But if I'm not mistaken, we're around 54 people.
Oh, wow. Amazing, amazing. Starting from being a freelancer, it actually grew to like a team of over 50 right now. So I want to ask now about that. I mean, like building the organization, leadership.
Yeah.
You actually wrote a book, CEO at 22. So
Yes.
yes, you became a CEO at 22. That's why you wrote this book. So um yeah, can you tell more about this book? But what I really want to hear is like as a young as a young Filipino back then, iba kasi yung na I have to say that now kasi medyo marami ng mga young CEOs kasi with startups eh. I mean, with startups you can actually like easily brand yourself as a CEO. But back then medyo iba
Yeah.
yung iba yung usapan when you brand yourself as CEO eh. So can you just share
Yes.
can you just give us all your thoughts about this and maybe share some challenges that of being a CEO back then and maybe some successes as well.
Sure. So this is the book, CEO 22.
Wow.
It's a fully colored book because that's the branding that I have. So my entire story, actually, the answer to your question is here. It's just 170 pages, very easy to read. You can buy it from my website, sean.c/book. And I wrote it just in case God takes me home early, my kids will know who I am. That's actually the purpose for me writing the book. So tatlo lang yung audience ko kasi tatlo lang yung anak ko. No? But thankfully, by God's grace, a lot of people have bought and read and given me feedback about it. How it was for me back then was, I would say, pretty difficult because as a Filipino Chinese, hindi ako blessed na balbasarado. So mukha talaga akong 22 years old, no? And some companies will ask me, how can I entrust you with my website? Because a website is supposed to be the digital representation of a company's brand and a company's identity. So it's also a good thing that a lot of the people that I talked with are not that closed-minded na yung mga mas bata, mas magaling naman talaga sa digital. So I think that's the plus side. But there were a lot of deals that for me didn't push through just because they thought I was too young. So there are pros and cons. The pro, I'm 34 now and I have achieved, I'm very happy with what I achieved. Yun na lang. And I'm blessed to lead a lot of people, to own properties, to have investment portfolios, a lot. No, so that's the biggest pro. If you start early and you invest in your mind, meaning you learn about personal finance management, you learn about leadership, you learn about how to manage people, KPIs, how to create a mission, vision statement, and core values that are not just writings on a wall, but are really lived out by everyone in the organization. If you learn these things, and I had to read books to learn it, Built to Last, Good to Great. I read a lot of Seth Godin books, John Maxwell, all of these well-known authors, Patrick Lencioni. If you invest in your mind, you can be like me. I started with 1,300 pesos. That's my capital. Pinambili ko ng website. Ganun ako nagsimula. And I was kicked out of my house, my parental house before. And I had to really journey on the hard knock life of, business and ventures. And it's really so important that you, the audience who are listening in to this podcast, that you invest in your mind. Ang dami kasi ngayon junk food eh. We have TikTok videos that are not really helpful for us. People dancing, not doing anything. It doesn't have any ambag sa buhay mo. Wala siyang value. But if you measure how much time you spend in those valueless videos and content, it sums up to a lot in a year. What if you invested that in helpful, valuable content? Books, podcasts that are helpful for you, that will change your perspective, that will make you rich and successful. Your life will be very, very different. And I'm very blessed to be able to be led by the Lord to these things. My life is not flowery. It's not easy. I was physically, verbally, and emotionally abused when I was still a kid, all the way until I graduated high school. So it was very tough life. Maybe that's why I have the resilience and the grit that I have, which is very important if you're going to be starting business. Kasi madaming challenge sa business. And manggagaling yan usually sa mga tao mo. Because people are the only factors that you cannot control. May sari-sariling buhay kasi ang tao. So you have to learn how to lead and manage well.
We need to breathe. But yeah, thank you, Sean, for those words. It's actually very inspirational. Even me, listening right in front of this laptop screen right now, I'm actually hit by those words. First of all, start early, and the grit. Kumbaga, start early, be resilient, take that grit, and along the years, you'll, kumbaga, keep learning possibly, and then eventually you'll get that success that you want. What do you think makes a good leader? Or actually, yeah, what do you think makes a good leader? And also, what do you think makes a good CEO? Kasi merong slight difference with those two. So, yeah, can you answer these two questions?
Sure. First and foremost, a good leader for me has to be under authority. Pag leader ka, tingin mo ikaw na yung ultimate authority, that's very dangerous. And you will not last. Even if you're doing well right now, it's not gonna last. All good leaders know that they're under authority. You're under the authority of the government. You're under the authority of, ultimately, God. And if you're under God's authority, why don't you read His Word? Why don't you meditate? Why don't you pray? Why don't you ask Him about His will for your life? For me, I'm not a pastor, I'm not a priest, but that's really what helped me. I'm just telling you my story. I'm a guy who reads the Bible daily, one chapter a day. Doesn't take more than 5-10 minutes. That's all I do. I've read it 14 times already, and I follow the principles there as best as I can. I also pray daily. That's what helped me. You can listen to other podcasts, they'll tell you so many things about leadership. Pero ito hindi nila sasabihin kasi hindi lahat ng successful leaders believe in this. But I'm telling you what I believe in and what I think will really help you become successful. Another attribute or requirement to be a great leader is you have to learn to love people. If you don't love people, your team is not going to be loyal to you. They will not feel that they're important for you. And if they don't feel that way, then they will leave. You have to learn to love people because business is about people. Whether it's your client, tao rin yan. Mga tao niya, kailangan mahalin mo rin. Tao mo, kailangan mahalin mo talaga. So if you pay people cheaply, you pay them late, that's gonna come around back to you because in God's word, He says you have to pay people on time. So all of these principles that I have right now emanate from the Bible. Believe it or not, the Bible is such a good teacher, especially of business and money management. So you have to be under authority. You have to learn to love people, and then you have to keep growing. Hindi porket kumikita ka ng million buwan-buwan, relax ka na. And you stop growing. You just start playing golf and computer games and do whatever it is you want. You will not last if that's who you are and how you do things. You have to keep on growing. Whenever I hit the gym, 1 hour yun. I listen to an audiobook. I finish 1 audiobook a month doing that. Whenever I drive, I listen to an audiobook. I choose the audiobooks that I listen to. Right now, I'm listening to The Talent Code and Principles by Ray Dalio. I am also reading books. Before I sleep, I read the book, The Biography of Lee Kuan Yew, written by himself. That's a very, very good book if you want to learn how a world leader thinks. And you invest in your mind these things, you continue to grow, you apply them. There's no way that you will not grow. When you listen to these things, when you read these things, there is no way you will not grow. There is no way you will not share it with anyone. Kasama yun sa growth mo eh. Yung sinishare mo siya, tinuturo mo rin siya because that's how you master it. And then you apply it in your work. So you need these 3 things to become a very good leader. And now to the question na dinikit mo doon, how to become a good CEO, you need all of those things, plus you need to learn to manage people. Iba ang leadership sa management. Leadership is motivating them, inspiring them, setting a good example. Management is making sure that they produce their KPIs. Management is the ability to tell people, if you don't do this well, there will be consequences. But if you do this well, then you will be rewarded. And how you tell it to them day by day and move them to their KPIs, that is very good management. And when you become CEO, you have to learn to do that. Hindi pwedeng good cop ka lang. Because a lot of CEOs, especially the young ones, ganun eh. It's a party. We are all friends here. Let's hold each other's hands and sing kumbaya. It cannot be like that. You have to learn to manage people and make them produce the best that they can. So, I don't want to make it longer. Marami-rami na yun, but I hope that's helpful to all of you listening.
It's very helpful actually. For me, even now, nag-reflect na nga ako now eh. I mean, it's really, I have to say that in my personal experience, it's actually hard to become a good leader na like leading a large organization. For me, at my age, I'm actually 31 right now. So medyo matanda na rin ako. Pero I really admire people like you, Shan, na kaya mag-lead and kaya mag-manage ng even an organization of 50. I think that's a high number already. I really admire. It's not easy. I think
Johnny, I'll tell you now. Don't think that it's very hard. Because when you manage a team of 50, you break it down. So,
yeah.
for example, there's 4 people in my execom. And I'm about to bring in one more. I manage them. I only really manage a handful of people. Maybe 7, 8 people directly report to me. That's it. Everyone else is managed and led by the people I manage and lead. So don't think that you have to manage all 50 plus people. Maganda na kilala mo sila, you care about them, you know what's happening in their life. That would be amazing. Unfortunately, hindi kaya. Like, honestly, for me, there are some people in my office, I don't know now what's happening with them. If I get the chance to talk with them, I ask them. But I don't always get the chance to talk with them. But my people, the ones I lead and manage directly, that's their responsibility.
Yes. I mean, thank you for that answer, Shan. Actually, yes, that's very true. That's very true. Kumbaga, you cannot manage a group, then that group manages a group, and then and so on. I think that's how kumbaga the leadership of large organizations work. So
That's right.
I guess so my takeaways are actually like from those lessons. I think keep yourself as a leader under authority, or I think it's also humility. And then love your people. I think that's empathy. That's really understanding, being on their shoes, and then keep growing. That's a very
Not just empathy, not just empathy, Johnny. Because empathy is you sit with them, you feel for them, you feel with them. It's also compassion. When they're suffering, when they're in a rough patch in their life, help them. Give them money, provide for them and their family without asking for anything in return, diba? It's not just empathy, it's also, look, God in the flesh, Jesus Christ, walked here in our planet. His active ministry is just 3 years and yet he halved history. BC, AD. 3 years lang siya nag-active ministry. And how many people did he lead and manage? 12. One of them betrayed him. Diba? So, si Judas, nawalan pa nga siya ng isa 11 na lang yung natira after nun. That tells you and me, that's already God. He can only lead and manage 12 people if he is also in human form. How much more you and me? We cannot manage more than that. Diba? So, and also, when you look at what he did, he not only empathized, may sakit ka, I feel sorry for you. I'm here for you. Di lang I'm here for you. He healed the sick. He had compassion on them. That word, you will repeatedly read that if you read the Gospels.
Yeah, compassion. So you also have a podcast actually, Shan. Leadership Stock Podcast. So do you also talk about these things? I mean, leadership leadership in all its essence. So yeah, can you tell us more also about your podcast? And maybe our
Sure.
listeners would also like want to tune into to your podcast.
Yes. Thank you, Johnny. Actually, the reason I started the podcast is I wanted to increase the leadership cap of our country. We all
Mm.
know about our politicians, our government, and they're the ones leading the country. Are we happy about it? We don't know, but majority of the things that we hear and see is that there is a lack in true leadership and true management, especially in the government, which is supposed to be the highest form of office in our country. So when I saw that, I felt sad and sorry, but I also felt that I needed to do something. Now, I'm not going to run for office because politics is not my cup of tea. But what I can do is share about my leadership and management principles to anyone who is willing to listen. And I hope that our future politicians are tuning in even right now. Those are just the three things that I share in the podcast: leadership, management, and entrepreneurship. Because I believe that the hardest problems in our world today can be solved by entrepreneurs.
Mm, yes, actually, yeah, I actually agree. Yeah, I think the Philippines needs to have more entrepreneurs. Actually, in my opinion, also more innovators and actually more good leaders. I think that's one of the things that we're, kumbaga, na underestimate din natin eh. Leadership is, I don't want to say it again, but it's not an easy thing to start. To, I mean, like to start us of. Um, Thank you, Sean, for this conversation. Just can you just let us know like what's really your vision? I mean, kumbaga, what's your future plans? Anong aabangan namin not just with SEO Hacker but like with all of the other things that you're doing. So maybe you can give us a glimpse of some of the things that you're planning. Are you planning to write another book or something like that?
Someday, it's in the pipeline, but I don't know yet when that can be because I'm very busy right now with the expansion of SEO Hacker. So we're
Mm.
expanding to Singapore this year,
Oh.
and we already opened the back office in Bacolod. So yun yung medyo I'm busy with that, and also with making sure that we hire a lot more people. We're still hiring right now. So if there are people who are tuned in here who might want to learn how I built the culture and experience it for themselves, feel free to apply. The email address is jobs@seo-hacker.com. And the book will be about marriage already. So
Oh.
I feel like there's a lot of marriages that are falling apart, not just here but everywhere else in the world. And I will write it with my wife. So we're
Oh.
not yet there. Someday, and you will definitely know when it's out. So those are the things that I'm busy with expanding SEO Hacker. I have side projects right now. I sell, I make and I sell Bacopa Monieri tea and oil. It's an herb. It's an Ayurvedic herb that improves memory. And ang gumagamit nun are Alzheimer's and dementia patients. Ako personally, I drink it every day. So I've seen significant improvements in my memory. Actually, sometimes I couldn't believe na naaalala ko yung mga bagay na naaalala ko because of that. Because I'm so used to myself forgetting things. I'm so used because I'm pretty forgetful. But since I started drinking that tea and using the oil, my memory significantly improved. So it's just a pet project, a hobby project, but we're launching it. We're finally going to be running ads on it, and we're rebranding the website. We have sold a good number already, but this time we're taking it more seriously because it has good potential. So, yeah, yun yung mga pinagkakabisihan natin yan.
And obviously, it's gonna be on the top of the search engines, I know, because
It
of
already
SEO
is.
Hacker.
It already is.
Anyway, maraming salamat, Sean, for this conversation. It's actually very nice, first of all, to learn more about SEO Hacker. For me, actually, na-clarify yung parang flow of optimizing SEO for a company. And actually, yung latter part ng ating usapan about leadership, it's really um, life-changing in some sense for me. I mean, but I have to say that those words that you said really hit and can really hit me. And maybe sa mga nakikinig, baka may mga mapulot, may matutunan din na some lessons na maaaring ma-apply for their own businesses and for their own lives. So, if our listeners want to know more about you, Sean, or about SEO Hacker, or even about the T, so how can they know more? How can they find more information? So we can just invite them also to connect with you or to learn more.
Sure. So you can check out my website, sean.c. I still blog and publish there because I love to write. I have SEO Hacker. You can check it out at seo-hacker.com. Of course, you can just do a Google search and you'll find it anyway. Bacopa Munieri is the herb that I sell. You can find it by searching Bacopa Munieri Philippines or just type in the URL bacopamunieri.ph and you can order from there as well. Everything that I have online naman is pretty public. So you'll really get to know who I am. You get to know the content I create, what I stand for, my principles, and it's easy to find me. If you want to reach me by email, you can do so using my email address. I am at sean.c. So that's spelled as IAM at SEAN.SI. I am at sean.c.
Yeah, I'll put those links then below. So maraming salamat, Sean. It's such a great honor to have you dito sa podcast. And I actually learned a lot. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Johnny. It's an honor and privilege.
Salamat.
God bless.
Thank you very much to our 32 patrons. This episode is super powered by TechShake, Asia's most active Philippine-based startup ecosystem builder creating bridges with investors, corporations, and governments. 1 CFO, tech-enabled CFO, bookkeeping, and tax services for startups and SMEs. Take 5 Outdoors, the best guided outdoor adventure tour in the Philippines. They specialize in hiking and mountaineering trips. Benjoy's Food Products, the home of premium bacon ends, tapa, and tocino. D-Buzz, Web3 microblogging app promoting freedom of speech and content ownership. Pinoy IP Works, capture your startup's value proposition through patent and trademark protection. Packetworks, the leading enabler and only Internet of Things social enterprise in the Philippines. Looking for buy and sell online with Sigurado sellers. And NutriCoach, the all-in-one productivity tool for dietitians and nutritionists. This episode is powered by Pareto Consulting, AltSwitch, ePlayment, Tuala, and Hive Energy PH. AskLex PH Academy is our official e-learning partner. Get certifications on Lean Six Sigma, project management, data science, and many more. Support the podcast through the links in the description.